Yeah, why not? Sure. Hi, everyone.
Sometimes the answer to "Are you ready?" is sure.
Sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. It is Friday. That means it is time for another Paint and Slay here with Lord and myself, V. We are continuing with our fantastic beholder that we have been creating from the WizKids Frameworks beholder, slightly different than the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniature beholder, which is the beholder that comes primed ahead of time and assembled ahead of time. The Frameworks beholder does not. So if you weren't with us for those first 2 episodes, you can always go back and check things out and catch previous episodes for how we assembled the Iris beholder. But today, we're actually going to have fun, and our darling Iris is going to be getting some color. But before we get into that, Lauren, do we have any fun things to talk about, chat about with the game?
Wait, there's always stuff to talk about in the game.
Always stuff.
So I'm going to relate. So first, we actually have, I think we've got Martin as our moderator. Yes, we got the wonderful Martin as our moderator today. If you do have any questions for either of us, go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters. Well, most of what we will be doing is painting minis, and you can ask questions about mini painting. We will answer as many questions as we can about Idle Champions, but because we're painting a mini, I might not be able to go to a lot of detail. Also, I have been told, V, you're quiet and kind of peaking. It sounds compressed.
Quiet and peaking?
Yeah. So while you examine that, I will say that I will continue to talk at the camera at all the lovely people in chat and say the weekend buffs should be up now. If you go into your game, you should see the new champions that are getting a buff for this weekend. And I've forgotten what that is, but those buffs are available now. Also, there's a free time gate weekend going on today. So if there is a specific champion you've missed, maybe you're new to us and you want to participate in the Heroes of Erois season 1 that's happening and want to pick up one of the Heroes of Erois champions, not only is there a free time gate weekend this weekend, but if you open up another time gate and pay time gate pieces, all the Heroes of Erois are only 3 instead of the normal 6. So there's a lot of good time gating that can happen this weekend. Also, as I said, the season has begun. Season 1, yay! We're super excited about that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, Monday. Most of our shows are off on Monday because it is a holiday in Canada, but there will still be a familiar quest. So come by. There's still Garwar after us and Garwar on Saturday. And then on Monday, the only show that we will be broadcasting on our Twitch channel is a familiar quest. I believe they're on episode 5.
Yes, they are on episode 5. All right, I've played with my settings a little bit, and let's see if that helped with the microphone. I don't know.
We'll find out from Martin shortly. Hopefully shortly. And I'll also say, if you're watching us on Steam, hi, welcome. If you want to participate in the chat, you'll want to come over to the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/CNE Games, if you have any questions. And if you're just working and lurking, hey, well, I appreciate a good work and lurk. I do that quite a bit. So thank you.
Yes, it's how we make the world go round. We work and we lurk.
Yeah. I am often I often have a Twitch stream or something else going on while I'm working. And I almost did forget there is well, first off, Martin says sounds much better, so you're awesome. Second, we still have those discounts for WizKids going on, and I believe there's 2 that we're going to put into chat because one of them ends tomorrow. And then another one has started and is good until October. And I think both of them are going to end up in chat, but the one, if you go to dndmini.com, you can get a 10% off site-wide discount by putting Sphere of Many Eyes 10 off. And the 10 is the number. And that's good until tomorrow. You got a cat? Good. Yes. But then there's another one. So if you hear this, if you happen to be watching the VOD on, say, Monday or Tuesday, first off, hi. There's another one going on until October 8th, which is Cover Your Ears 10 off. That's an interesting one. You also get 10% off on dndmini.com site-wide. Yes, so exactly. Sphere of Many Eyes 10 off and Cover Your Ears 10 off. And there, I think we're done.
Cover your ears, honey. Gotta cover your ears, Laura.
Yeah.
Ta-da! So I love how the chat's like, Kitty! Yeah, Rory is back with a vengeance. She's been very cuddly and demanding, so, you know.
But we're done with we're done with the super glue. We're
done with the super glue, so we're good. We're good. But yeah, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna start giving Iris some color, which I have been very excited to do because I know Sean mentioned this just previously on Good Old Champions. There's a video out there on YouTube of our Iris trailer, and you really do need to go and check that out if you haven't already. So go to YouTube, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Check it out. It is there. Martin, I don't know if you have the link for that still. If you could pop that in the chat too, that would be amazing. But because we have that out, and word is now out and about that. Also, Hope, thank you again for voicing it so beautifully. I did a quick pivot this morning, afternoon. What is time zones? Because I'm across way too many today. I did like 5 different time zones today, y'all. I don't know where I am right now.
She's not joking. I mean, she can't talk about a bunch of the stuff that she did, but I do know for a fact that 5 time zones might not be an exaggeration. 1, 2, yes, yeah, 5.
It was 5. It was 5 this morning. So I was like, I don't know what time it is. It's a daylight time. But what I thought would be cool is now that I'm not just riffing off of our logo, that one, or, you know, what you see on screen right now, let's have some fun and really make her look like Iris. So we're going to be using this still from the trailer as reference point. So this really should be a lot of fun. I can't wait. So bear with me if I have to put this back up on the screen because my brain's going, wait, let me just double check. But that is going to be the plan for today, which means we're going to be doing a lot of reds and purples today. So get ready for that. But if you're set, Lauren.
I mean,
I can't wait for this.
I'm always happy to be here, whether I'm ready or not.
Ready or not, here I come. Yes. So we're going to do what I always like to do. I have painted, this is now 11th or 12th beholder that I've painted, something like that. I've gotten into need more than 2 hands to count my beholders. But the way I always like to paint my beholders is I always start with the inside of the mouth first. So we're going to get the inside of the mouth and the tongue painted up, which means to do that, we're going to want to get a little bit of black and a little bit of bloody red and a little bit of ultramarine. Now, if you want the more generic terms, because I'm working off of the Vallejo game color line, if you're using your own paints at home, basically a true black, a classic blue, and a classic red. I mean, primary tones by classic. So we're going to do...
I need a mixing brush.
Aha. You need a mixing brush?
I knew I'd forgotten something.
So I'm just going to do with equal parts all around. Because I'm aiming for almost like a plum purplish tone. So I think what I might do is equal parts ultramarine and bloody red. Mix those together first and then go in with my black. Oh, I do have... Yes, I do have water. Hello. The paint is always acrylic. Vallejo is acrylic paint based. Not using oils or anything of the like.
Although we will be using not just the set from Vallejo, that
Yes.
if you come to our Discord, discord.gg/idle champions, you can see all of the stuff that we are using. And I got a drink. Hold on.
Drunk.
We will also be using some of these little pots that came in the Chimera Paint Night kit that we got how many weeks ago at this point? What is time? Who cares? But when you get one of those paint kits, they come with all the paint you need. And frankly, they come with way more paint than you need. Like these things, there's a lot of paint in here. So we're actually going to be using those. Like I got my black right here. And so if you see me going, that's because I'm trying to open up one of these because they're awesome, but every once in a while they're a little hard to open.
A little tricky. Okay, I think I'm going to add a touch more of the bloody red because I want a little bit more of the warmer tone. Time is a pizza, exactly.
Time is a flat pizza. Yes.
Pizza.
I miss pizza.
So do I. Although the Daya dairy-free pizza, I gotta say, that I had the other week was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I gotta try that. I gotta give that a try. Or I have found a couple pizzas nearby. They're from fancy schmancy pizza places. But they are incredibly light on the cheese. They're practically cheeseless, which is awesome. So I might be giving into that sometime soon.
So that's the color I aimed for. So you can see it's like this dark plum.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna have to grab
paper towels.
A little more red. Well, while you're grabbing paper towels, I will come to some of the questions that came in from chat. Thanks to Martin grabbing those. So thank you for those of you who have put your questions in chat. Lexunum asked, which one of the champions do you think would be good as painting minis? Ooh, so like who would you like to have join you on Paint and Slay, essentially?
Absolutely, Dahani.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Dahani, my little murder burb.
Yeah, I think you have to, right? She actually is a painter.
Exactly.
That's kind of so perfect. I don't think I could even come up with a second answer. Get yourself a murder burb who paints.
Yep.
All right.
I'm all for it.
I think I got a plum I'm happy with. So
yeah. And this is going to be a lot of like pokey, pokey, jabby, jabby.
Yeah, all those teeth.
Yep. And again, don't worry about if you get purple on the teeth because we're painting the teeth much later on down the process. It's just the mouth can always be a little bit finicky to try and get to the oddball angles and everything, which is why I like to start with the mouth, because if you oops-a-daisy and go elsewhere, I know that's going to get covered up later on down the line as opposed to doing the back and forth and the back and forth.
Yeah. And Lesh68 has a very pertinent question for this beholder. What size is that? I looked on Amazon and some were just tiny and some were bigger. Hard to tell which is what, which is fair for a beholder because there's a lot out there.
It's a large one because this is a standard mini to scaled medium for D&D sizes. So the beholder itself is large.
Yeah. I happen to have, let me grab it. So V was talking about how we're using the Frameworks beholder. I thought I had it right here. Maybe I don't.
Oh, you want the standard Nolzers?
Yeah, I had it here, but I guess I don't.
I got it here.
Which you'll actually be able to see is pretty much exactly the same. We've just had fun outfitting the stalks in a fun way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whether you get the standard Nolzers or you get the Frameworks one, they should be the same.
They should both be scaled to large, yeah.
Yeah, because beholders are large.
Yeah.
They're large and they think that they're in charge all the time.
I'm going to name the next beholder I do Charles. Because he'll be Charles in charge.
Charles in charge.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. That's a reference.
God, I still remember the theme song. Like the refrain.
Ooh,
Charles
I don't.
In charge of our days and our nights.
Okay.
Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I won't do any more because who knows?
Because Twitch.
Because Twitch me do.
Yeah. Astro Samurai XBL asks, with hype about Eros, why is the weekend Golden Epic Viconia? Well, because we don't want to have absolutely everything be all about the heroes of Eros. We want, there to be some variety in there so that, if you don't get sick of the heroes of Eros over the next, I think it's 10 weeks
10
is
weeks.
the season.
That's just it. It's 10 weeks long. So you're going to see variety mixed, and it's not just going to be one fixed focus.
Exactly.
So yeah. Variety is a spice of life, darlings.
Exactly. And this way you get a whole bunch of champions that will not only get buffs and bonuses, but you can use over all that time. I'm gonna get this. There's a spot right under the tongue.
I'm telling you, it's a pokey approach.
Yeah. I think I got it. The funny thing about this is I was just about to complain about where the tongue is, and then I realized, oh, I positioned this tongue. This is my own fault.
You put that tongue there.
It's the tongue is really close to the teeth right here, and there's basically like a little teeth window to get in there. And I was just thinking, wow, this is annoying. Well, I did that to myself. Oh well.
It's just the way it built.
Kinra Vip asks, has the mystery of the non-working newsletter codes been solved? Kind of. We know why it happened. Computer systems and things went wonky. We're still so here's the good news. It's not that they are not working. It's that it accidentally sent out the same codes as some other newsletters that had the Nova and the seasons chest. And what I don't know all of the details, but it's basically if you try to redeem that kind of chest twice, the game goes, hey, you already did that.
You did that already.
Yeah. So we're still trying to figure out the best way to rectify that situation. We're sorry about the issue. We like to not send lots of emails. We like to be very sparse in our emails because no one likes a lot of emails, even if they come with all sorts of goodies. And the idea of both of those emails is they should have both come with separate goodies.
Yeah.
But the idea of sending out another email, even if it has correct goodies, we're being cautious. We're being careful. We're trying to balance out doing the right thing versus not annoying people with 3 emails.
Right.
So thank you for your patience with that. And hopefully you enjoy Nova and the extra chest that came with it.
Ta-dum.
And I think I got...
Yeah, I think I got pretty well covered in the mouth. Let that time to dry. And now... Dooba-dooba-doo. You know what? This is where I want to look at reference pick.
Yep. We didn't put this iris down there when I first made this overlay because it hadn't been released yet. So
yeah, that's a separate. Okay, do you still have enough of that purple left?
Oh yeah.
So let's add some Stonewall Gray to it, and we'll do the gums and we'll do the eyelid.
How much?
A little dot to make it a paler, almost like a lavender is what I'm aiming for right now. A deep lavender or lilac.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a dollop, bloop, a little bloop.
I might have done more than a bloop, but that's okay.
It's okay.
That's all right. I'm having fun.
And that's just it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, lovely. So I'm just going to swatch it.
Lovely. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Lovely. There you go.
Okay.
So like 3 tones up from the base color.
I got the 3 tones up. I think in general, my color is ending up slightly more red than purple, but I got the coordination right. So
yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do for the eyelid part, we're not gonna take it all the way down the folds of the eyelid. We're kind of gonna sounds horrible. We're sort of gonna split this in half because if you look at the reference photo, you see that Iris has her lower eyelid it's purple at the top and then it goes to red at the bottom. So we're going to work on capturing that as well. So what I'm going to do is, with the lighter purple that I have now, I'm going to go in and run it along here and use this fold as my little guide, if you will, to create that delineation of the upper lower eyelid and the lower eyelid.
All right. I was just taking a moment to make sure that I'm looking at the same delineation.
Totally fair.
All right.
This is also why I want to save the eyeball for later. Because when you go in with white, it'll just be easier to focus on the white eye later on.
Always save the eyeball for later.
Yeah.
Eknor has a question. Is there an exception to start with the mouth with an open mouth mini? Basically, do you prefer to always start with the mouth when it's a kind of mini, or are there exceptions to that?
I honestly do, because you can get some detail work done in the open mouth and then work around the open mouth more easily. I find it's harder to wait on the open mouth and then have to go in and do more careful stroke work because of when you go in to do the dry brushing and everything and the detail work. Sometimes it'll be easier to stray over into these outer areas, which then you have to go back and fix. So that's why I tend to do open mouths. I treat those first. Reason why I'm holding off on the eye, because you're like, well, logically, wouldn't you do the eye then? Because the eye, I'm dealing with lighter colors. I'm actually going to get this darker tones in first, and then I can go in with we'll start with Stonewall Gray to help sort of blank out and refocus our attention to the eyeball itself.
I'm so just what I'm going to do, how much you're getting into those corners there as well.
Very much into the deep corners, yeah. And then I'm going to take this color purple up and over, you see here.
Oh, yeah.
Into this portion. And that will give us a nice little recessed eye look for Iris's eyeball.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, and people must be getting their free time gates, because we have our first What Would You Suggest, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who are new, I'm going to give my standard disclaimer. When you get your free time gate and the game offers you 3 different options, the answer to which you want, there's no wrong answer, because eventually you want to get everybody.
Yeah.
That being said, and sometimes which one you want is going to depend on your individual needs. If you're looking for a specific champion in a specific seat, if you're looking for a specific kind of champion, a support, a DPS, if you're trying to get a whole set, if you would like to have Dahani to paint along with, and you want to get the rest of the Rivals of Waterdeep, that kind of thing. But it's still fun to have the which would you prefer. So Twitchy News Person is up first with, I have a choice of Ishii, Jim, or Human owned. What do you all think? Okay, so if you own Human already, I definitely go with either Ishii or Jim. Get yourself a champion you don't currently own. For the 2, Jim is real powerful, but takes some very special formation fun, which you can look up in the Discord and on the news, on the Reddit, and in a couple places.
Yeah.
Ishii is just kind of a much more easy to use DPS with a nice gold find. So I'd probably lean Jim, because in the longer run, you're going to have more luck with doing Jim stuff, but both of them are real good.
There you go. All right, I'm going back in with Stonewall Gray, and I'm mixing it into the same color we've been using to lighten that up even more, so we can go to the gums.
Oh,
now that I have the eye.
Okay.
Take it to the gums.
Also, let me know if the happy children outside get too loud, and I will close.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't realize you had happy little children outside.
Yeah. Most of the time, the noise gating does a really good job, but every once in a while, I figure to check in, because you know what? It's either the happy children or the happy crows. It's one of the two.
So there's your marching orders and colors.
Okay.
There have been weekends where I have gone out to run an errand after I'm done with work and I forget to wash my wrist. And I'm just a walking paint swatch. It's fun. All right, so I'm going to put this lighter purple, I should say, onto the gums now, which fall through here.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of watch you for a second, but I think I see. I think the upper gums are the harder one that the one that I'm finding harder to see exactly, but yeah.
That's fair.
The Lurking Writer says that purple lower eyelid makes me think Iris is tired. Has she been staying up too late too often playing
the
Idle
game.
Champions?
Absolutely.
I think Iris is just all eye.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just what happens. But hey, as someone who is also fighting bags under her eyes, I can commiserate. I can definitely commiserate.
Relatable.
Uh-huh. You know, not all beholders are completely alien in concept. Some of them actually have relatable things that are going on. Like, hey, Iris, do you need a little bit more sleep there?
Right.
Yeah, me too. Can we not fight and can we just have a nap?
Have those formations been keeping you up all night?
Mm-hmm. Poke, 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 poke.
Yeah, it is a very poke around type of approach here when you get into the teeth and everything like that. And then don't forget, every so often you will need to sort of go in and do the gums between the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Which always gets to be fun.
Yeah. At least these teeth, there's space in between. The space between the teeth and gums. Mr. Nobodyson asks a question near and dear to my heart. Orkira or Jim? I run into the Krull leftover problem, so Jim would be useful sometimes, but Orkira is so cool. Orkira, always go for Orkira, 100%. If you're asking me, always get Orkira.
I was going to say, no bias whatsoever.
Zero, absolutely zero. I'm telling you for your own good, for your own benefit, that if yes, there are no wrong answers, but the right answer is always Orkira. And I'm not just saying that because she's the character that I created. Not at all.
No, that has no influence whatsoever on it. None.
I think chat will at least back me up that while I am very biased, Orkira is a good champion to have. So yeah. I'm not leading you too astray. You know. But yes, absolutely, you want Orkira. Oh, I see that between the gums. I see you. Man, these teeth are gonna look extra gnarly before we go after them. Yeah, they're all purple and pink and bleh.
Yes.
Lurking Writer asks, Lauren, how are Luke and the squirrels that adopted him? Do you think he has time? He'd have time or like to be a guest painter on the show with you and V one day. Aw. I mean, Luke loves painting minis, and the hard part would be the two of us in the same place trying to figure out who would use what painting supplies.
That's a fair point, yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of painting supplies here in this apartment, but there are some things in where we only have one of, and his setup is not as optimal for being on stream as mine is, which is just because his job doesn't require him being on stream the same way mine does. So while I appreciate the thought, that might be one of those in where if V ever wants to have Luke on, that is a Luke or Lauren, not a Luke and Lauren. Or maybe we're both on, except, you know, we figure out how the both of us can be here. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have had 3 people on here before, but they've always been call-ins. So
yeah.
And then everybody who comes on Paint and Slay eventually ends up on an Idle Champions Presents one shot, apparently.
It's what we do.
We're gonna have to have Aaron on just so we can complete the set, because I did realize that when I saw the cast list, I was like, this is everybody who's been on Paint and Slay.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Okay.
I wanted to drop like a mini reference in the middle of the game, but we were having too much fun that I forgot.
That was a good game though. I really enjoyed it.
It was. I
For
mean, I
as
wasn't
varied as the
surprised.
characters were, it was a great combination.
That's the thing that really surprised me is how easily well we all got along, despite the fact that
Mm-hmm.
our characters didn't know each other that well.
Yeah.
Because I knew, I mean, I know Nora and Masood and you and Aaron are all absolutely fantastic players. So I had no doubt that y'all were going to be amazing. But the fact that the characters also just kind of went, yeah, we're friends now. Sure.
I
You wouldn't
mean, it
think
checks
we'd be
out.
friends. Yeah.
It worked. It totally worked. I mean, for Nika, she's like totally loving Gosrick because, oh, another druid who's an entrepreneur. Great.
There you
Sees an
go.
opportunity and takes it. Cool. Okay, so I have our variety of purple started. We're at that phase where this mini is going to look janky for a little bit. It's just the nature of these beholder minis because there's so many nooks and crannies and there's so much going on. It will become a little bit more refined, if you can call a beholder refined.
Absolutely.
As we go along, but right now we're getting base colors on, and I'm not worried about being super duper neat about it because quite frankly, it's tricky to be super duper neat with these beholders. That comes a little bit later on. So I'm gonna quick flip to the reference photo again.
Yeah, sure. I'm just finishing up this last
Yeah.
little bit of the gum on the side here that I missed.
Isn't that always the way?
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, and we probably have some new people coming in from the
Woohoo,
game right now. Hi,
hello.
welcome on in. We're currently painting Iris. In celebration of our 5th anniversary, which just recently happened. If you do have any questions for V and I about mini painting, about Idle Champions, about, I don't know,
stuff in general, life and stuff.
Yeah, you know, who you think who we would suggest getting for your free time gate weekend. Go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters so our amazing mod Martin can fix it. Oh, and I totally missed. Martin said, can you let chat know we were aware of the connection issues and a fix has been pushed. So if you're having problems connecting to the game, it's probably better now. If it's not, you may need to just turn your game off and back on again.
Yeah. All right. So
what's next?
Now we're going to do some work on the lower bottom jaw because this is actually good. It shows people how I do my thought process when painting minis. So if we take a look at the reference photo, our beholder mini does not have an upper lip, whereas Iris in here has an upper lip. So already I know I need to forego trying to capture that. It's not going to pan out. But what I do want to get is this different tone of the lips in the lower jaw. So what we're going to do is get the base color of leather brown on and plot that onto this lower jaw section through here.
Basically everything in front of that first...
pretty much everything in front of that first bone plate. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going to do there. And it's going to be leather brown, even though it has a more flesh-like tone on the still, because this is base color. Remember, all this is base color work that we're doing today. It's not going to be the final look. I am thinking about 2 to 3 different layers of paint that are going to be coming down the line as I'm plotting out the base colors right now. So we'll go in with a detail brush and do some leather brown.
All right.
And get that going on to the lower jaw portion. Oh, I tell you. Hi, don't get in trouble, young lady.
And the cats are back.
Yeah, I've got... Cotton, is that you? Cotton. Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
There's one off screen who's like trying to chew on something in the window. Story of my life.
I'm interested where you're going to start this.
So I'm going to start it. That's exactly what I wanted to make sure this got this going. So I'm going to start this. There's like this little scale that starts way up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to start there and work this to meet up with the purples we just put on.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do this gradually, like line it a little bit, then go into fill in. Line it a little bit, go into fill in. Is really the best approach.
Slow and steady.
Exactly. Because what I don't want to do is take this too far down the jawline and then Iris has a 5 o'clock shadow, because that's not the effect I'm trying to go for here.
All right. Meanwhile, we'll talk a bit more about time gates.
Okay.
Zero Caxia, kayaks? Zero kayaks.
Kayaks.
Thinks kayaks. Asks, Catti, Neris, or Tatiana?
Ooh. Tatiana.
I'm kind of leaning Tatiana too, especially with all the
Yeah.
Black Dice Society members that just came out.
Yeah. They make a strong party.
Yeah, and Tatiana's a fun tank.
Yep.
Especially when she goes off screen to go get snacks and brings back a horde of enemies. It's just fun. It's just fun. But also she's a really good tank, and definitely with the Black Dice Society affiliation that just came out, I think it's worth going for Tatiana. The reason I hesitate though is because I think all three of those are real good. Like,
they are.
I don't think a lot of people use Neras a lot, but I really like them as a support. And Catti is a pretty strong support.
Catti is helpful too, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think we both agree Tatiana for the win.
It definitely would be my first choice. The others are not choices I cringe at. Let's put it that way. I mean, they're all good choices. I think Tatiana is the strongest in my personal preference.
Yeah, I agree with that. Regina asks, what happened when a free time gate happened and you have one already open? Oh, I see what you're saying. So if you are in the middle of doing a time gate and you get a free time gate, it depends on whether you have more than one party at the same time. If you only have one party, I believe you'll have to finish the time gate you are currently doing. And then once you're done, it will offer you the free time gate. So that's why free time gates are good for an entire weekend in case you happen to be in the middle of something else and can't get to it right away. If you have more than one party, you can have one party doing a time gate that you used pieces for and another party that opens up the free time gate. So you should be all fine. If you're in the middle of doing something else and can't get to it right away, it's still going to be all good. It will wait for you. You have until Monday at noon Pacific. And unless you're doing a lot of grinding for favor, most people can do the time gates very quickly. Just looking.
So I'm going to give you a quick little stopping point so you can see how I've done the one side of the jaw.
Yeah.
See that?
I think I stopped at the same place you did. Yay.
Great. Basically, there are these slightly larger scales around the mouth, and I'm using that first row of the scales to act as the lips.
That works for me.
I love fantasy creature anatomy talks. It's always an adventure.
I mean, beholders can talk, and so
they absolutely can.
They should have lips. Lips are normal.
Yes.
Lips the interesting things you have that you can think about. You don't have to think about it because it's a fantasy world. So in the end, the answer can be magic. But yeah, fantasy world.
Magic.
That's usually my favorite answer when it's just flavor and unimportant, and it's like, well, I don't know exactly how this works. Magic,
right? That's the one thing that always cracked me up with terrain making.
Yeah.
When I was making different bits of terrain, I would actually get people messaging me. Some would even email me because they felt this strongly about it. Well, technically this type of build would not exist during this type of period. And I wrote back, more often than not, you're arguing with me about semantics in a fantasy world over a building. Cool.
It'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Exactly.
Now the fun conversations, there are fun conversations that can happen out of that.
Oh yeah.
One happened a bunch of weeks ago in my Children of Verte game. There's probably other ways to adjudicate this, but my character cast Speak with Animals to talk to a bird. Speak with Animals, not concentration, lasts for 10 minutes. A minute or two into that conversation, wild shaped into a wolf. And now the wolf, my wolf tried to talk to the bird while we still had Speak with Animals on. And so there was a fun question of, well, wait a second, does this still work? And does that mean the wolf is tweeting like a bird? And the answer is just like, yeah, this is a magical world. Why not?
Yeah. I kind of love a tweeting wolf.
Yeah, but the idea behind, like, it's fun to think about the mechanics of how something like that works when you don't actually care,
Mm-hmm.
when it's just
Mm-hmm.
fun. So
Exactly.
yeah, we ruled that as long as I was wild shaped, if I had since I'd cast that before I wild shaped, that yep, you can
There you
talk
go.
to a bird while you are a wolf.
Okay,
Which is
so
just an
here's
amazing visual. Yeah.
you can see.
Yeah. And we're just staying on the
imagine.
bottom, right?
Just on the bottom, because there's really not a lip in that upper jaw. And while we could paint the gums that color, it then becomes a really weird dichotomy of the upper gums are peachy and the bottom gums being purple. So I'd rather just not the lip at the bottom, since we can create a lip and still have it nod to what our darling iris is up to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Works for me.
Yep. Okay, so now I think we're at the point we can do some dry brushing inside that mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, that looks... I'd stick my finger in to try to touch it to see if it was dry, except I don't think I'd ever get my finger back out because ouch.
Because oopsie. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go for a smaller flat dry brush that we have. This is in the Mod Podge. It is the number 2 flat.
Let me grab that one.
Yeah. And then what color did I want to do with this one? I think I'm doing burnt red mixed with... Oh yeah, Stonewall. Okay.
That's 2. There we are.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to burnt red, which is from the Chimera kit.
Okay.
Taking my mixing brush. Actually making sure my mixing brush is dry. So I'm going to take a dollop out of burnt red. A bloop.
Bloop. Oh, wow, I forgot how thick these were.
They are thick. And then I'm going to go in with a drop of Stonewall Gray, just to lighten it a touch, like a kernel of sesame seed. No, sunflower seed kernel in size, just to lighten this up a touch. But I'm adding the Stonewall Gray instead of the white because I want to add that duskiness to it that the Stonewall Gray has given the purples. If I went in with a white to the burnt, it'd be a brighter, almost pinkish tone, and that's not where I want to lean. So now that I've got this mixed, let me show you.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, that is then becoming the accent color. So we have sort of, thinking of what color we can compare that to. Almost a pomegranate. It's a bit of a pomegranate red.
Yeah, very, very ripe pomegranate.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost an overripe one that's gone a little darker. Yeah. Ooh, it's almost pomegranate season too.
Oh, I can't wait. Sorry, I'm a fan of pomegranates, and I adore them.
Yes.
So for me, I always get so excited, and it's just like I'll buy 5 and I put them on my countertop, and I'm just... The more you know about my...
I just sit on the floor with a bowl and a blanket or a bunch of paper towels. I'm just cracking it open and
have you found the cracking them up underneath in a bowl of water?
I've tried that.
I love doing that.
It works really well, but then there's a lot of water everywhere, and the way I tend to like to do it is you can cut off the bit at the top, the bit at the bottom, and then score it, and the whole thing will just basically open
like an orange almost.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but then it's not as wet. You don't have to it's not that you dry pomegranate seeds, but you know what I mean. All right, we're dry brushing the entire interior?
Just the mouth and the tongue, not the gums.
Okay.
But see, this is why I wanted to get this done first before we do teeth work and any additional work. And there are those striations on the side I want to make sure I get.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me grab Twitch Pal Player asks, birdsong or Cathris? I'm gonna go Birdsong.
Birdsong. Yep.
Birdsong is such a good DPS. Birdsong is one of my top DPS, especially with the Heroes of the Plains crew. Super fast, super easy to position, just lots of fun. So yeah, I definitely go Birdsong. And then Cthulhu is a good secondary, especially if you're looking for a support that has I like supports that have variety in how you can place them, and Cthulhu is one of those that if you, depending on which specialization you take, you can put him either right next to or further away from stuff. You have a little bit of, you have some options. So, but I'm Birdsong.
Yep, agreed. Birdsong. So I'm having some fun, and I'm actually putting a little bit more of this red tone at the tip of the tongue. Still using a dry brush effect, but building on it so I can just make that pop a little bit more. But literally just the edge and the tip of the tongue.
Let's see. Calith Marin says, I saw that V said she might go to PAX Unplugged. Is that still a thought or too much life happening? Curious because I'm on the fence about going myself.
I officially will be going, yes, my darlings. Unless something happens for reasons, health concerns wise or whatever.
Yeah.
The plan is to go to PAX Unplugged. I just got the confirmation, a badge is waiting for me. Yay!
And same for me.
So did Lauren. So we're like, yes.
Yay. I am pretty sure, because of the way all the other PAXs have worked, that they're going to keep all the same. You have to show proof of vaccination. You have to wear masks. And so I am relatively confident about going. So, but yeah, and there's always the idea that something could happen, but yeah.
Right. And honestly, I feel comfortable doing PAX Unplugged because of how well they ran it last year. They really were on top of, you have to have the mask. They had UV lighting to disinfect things. They had stations everywhere for disinfecting your hands. And it's a more open area. Philadelphia as a city itself takes things more seriously. There are a lot more stringent masking policies whenever you're going out. So yeah, I do plan on going. Okay, so that, I'm happy with how this mouth is looking, to be honest. I'm going to put a little bit more here on the edging section.
Yeah, I'm finishing up right now.
But that's just a nice, that makes me happy for the mouth.
Yay.
And then I think what we'll do is, we're doing well on time. Now we're going to go in with Stonewall Gray and straight up dry brush on the gums and that eyeball, the upper purple eyeball. Lid, not eyeball, eyelid.
But just straight up Stonewall Gray.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Because you'll see, let me go back to the reference photo. You'll see, it's kind of dark, so it's hard to tell, but you can see it's lighter tones that are happening. And then the eyeball itself, the upper portion, does have a little bit of red. So what I want to do is use that Stonewall Gray on the upper lid so that when I go in to do some of the red work, the Stonewall Gray will help act to mute the purple and let the red shine out a little bit better. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Right.
I'm honestly really glad how this worked out, that I changed course all of a sudden so people can see how I plot this stuff out.
It's helpful for me too.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to do a little dollop of Stonewall Gray. Little bloop. Little bloop. By the way, if you follow me on Twitter, there is a Boop Toll tweet you need to stop by and check out. If you want to bring a little brightness to your day, there's a snoot that needs booping.
That always needs a boop.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go in and keep the Stonewall Gray on the gums.
And you're focused on the purple, not the brown.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Yep, focusing on that light purple area.
All right. And while you're doing that, we've got another choice to pick. Bookish Oddish asks, thoughts on a choice between Warden or Binwin? Warden.
Oh, Warden. Yep.
Warden is so good. that is a competitive seat that Warden is in. Absolutely. And so you may not end up using Warden as often as a lot of other champions in that seat, but
well worth
Warden
having.
is yeah, absolutely. Especially when you want to put together either evil formations or with specific formations that are difficult to find a really good DPS for. Warden fits a lot of really good bills. And Mattis Zero asks, is there a maximum of favor you can earn from a time gate for the other blessings favors? I don't think so. I think it's just how much time you got and how many runs you want to do, but I don't think so. Chat will Garwar is saying Warden is not a great DPS, to be clear. Great debuffer though. I respect that opinion. I just have a really strong Warden. And the fact that he debuffs while he attacks, that's also why I like Birdsong. I am a fan of the debuffers or of the DPS who do other things. That doesn't necessarily make them the strongest DPSs, but Garwar is correct. But going back to that other question, I do not believe that there is a maximum. It's just how much time you got.
Yeah.
And how much time you want to spend.
Okay, so you can see what I just did on the upper portion of the lower eyelid here. See how I have that streak of gray? That is what is going to help enhance the red that we're eventually going to put on. So we're creating a support layer is really what this paint color is doing on the lower upper eyelid.
On the lower upper eyelid?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like the upper portion of the lower eyelid.
So this is one of those moments in where it's a little more than dry brushing.
Yeah, a slight overbrush there you can do.
Yeah. Drazzy39 asks, free time gate, Regis or Jaheira? Ooh,
that's a very good question.
I think either are good. I think both are.
Jaheira. But that might be bias on my part because I just enjoy the character.
Yeah. I'm going to say go for the one that you have fewer people in that seat.
That's a good one. That's a good bit.
Because picking between those two is hard. So that'd be the way that I would choose between the two is who do I have less champions in that seat?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then go for that one.
That's fair. Okay, so that is getting us caught up with the gum work, which means now this is dry enough so we can go in and we can do some lower lip work. All right. And that's where we're going to go back to. Why am I getting all these sneasel thingies happening? One moment, please. Yeah, I like the sneasels trying to attack me. What did I say I wanted to do? I think this is where we're going to go for basic skin tone. 1 moment, please.
Oh, yeah,
this basic peachy skin tone. Yeah, the peachy one. So we're going to do a light... Words are pretty. We'll do the light dry brush of basic skin tone, which... Ooh, that almost got messy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing I don't like about those paint pots, they can just be feisty sometimes.
I mean, on the good side, they're very, very sealed. So they're less likely to break open and cause accidental accidents. But yes, every time you open them, it's hard. You got to take an extra moment.
So again, I'm going to go in with my very small flat dry brush and take it across where we put the leather brown.
All right.
And this is going to give it more of that peachier tone that we saw in the... I'll do it right now so we can see. Right now, looking at my reference photo, I'm aiming for that tone. But since this mini actually has texture, I'm using the leather brown as the base color to give it depth. So it's not just a flat peach. Because then it almost gives it a cartoonish effect, and we don't really want that.
No, we still want Iris to be menacing.
I mean, with that laugh that Hope gave her, heck yeah. I'm telling you, when she was doing that laugh, first of all, major credit. She did that laugh like 20 times.
Yeah.
I was just like, dang, you are really, nailing it. But yeah, the laugh was like, second hearing the laugh, it's like, yep, there's Iris.
That's yep, voice actors. So I'm just trying to get a different angle. I'm at that point where, okay, do I need to do more, or am I just seeing shine from the light?
Yeah.
Which happens.
It does. It absolutely does happen.
Let's see. Lexinum question. I have Ayla, Binwin, and Celise. I don't use Binwin for one side, Ayla rework and plus season, and Celise is used for just pushing with Jim, so I don't know which lady should I pick. All three owned. Okay. I would go Celise because Ayla, you're going to get a lot of fun stuff through seasons for all the heroes of Erois. So you'll have lots of options to help Ayla. And Celise is not only Celise a solid tank. I know you talked about using for pushing with Jim, but Celise is also a tank that is usable in a lot of places and where a lot of other tanks are not available. Very specifically Strahd formations. Strahd has a very limited number of champions because of that intelligence requirement. And because of that, and just because of the way that we have champions, there are not a lot of tanks that you can use in Strahd formations. So, and then just the whole Rivals of Waterdeep are fun to have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Lightning Hawk says, question, do I get Rosie? Only time gate offer I don't have, but not sure if I should get her. I'd say get her. If you've been offered, if of the three that you've been offered, Rosie's the only one you don't have, get her. Because it's always good to have options. So even if you end up getting a champion that you hardly ever use, you will end up using her. You'd be surprised. They all come in handy. But yes, absolutely fill out your roster. That I think is the words that I apparently can't come up with. But yes.
Yeah.
I also see you grabbing an old rose.
Yeah, grabbing old rose. We're going to do a little light bit of dry brushing on the tip of the tongue with old rose.
All right.
Just very tiny. That's why I was building up a little bit more of the red on the tip of the tongue, because I knew the old rose was coming along. Speaking of Rosie, Rose, haha.
Yeah. Timing.
Timing is everything, everyone.
Timing. Just on the tip of the tongue?
Yep, on the tip of the tongue, because you see there's this fun texture that's at the top of the tongue there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take that and use it to help bring out the texture just a little bit more along the top and along the edge here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makes it pop just a little bit more that way.
You wouldn't
even take it underneath.
You wouldn't expect a tongue to have a lot of texture, but there you go.
It does. It really does.
Getting around those fangs, however, is a challenge.
That's why we're waiting on painting the fangs. There we go. See? Now you have that.
Yeah.
If I ever get a chance to meet Gene Simmons and he wants to know how to paint a mini, I'm telling you, I am making sure I'm grabbing a beholder with its tongue sticking out, because that is just far too appropriate.
That would be amazing.
It would be hysterically fun. Pardon me, Mr. Simmons, would you care to paint a beholder with me?
We have the perfect one for you. Look.
Right? Blah. Okay. So right now you can see this mouth is starting to take shape. Obviously we need to work on the teeth, but that's what I was saying. Don't get so worried about what the base colors are looking like, because now we're getting a far more refined look. Once the teeth get done, even then you'll see it jump up that much more. And speaking of the toofers, guess what? Speaking of the toofers, it's tooth time. Now that we have done the dry brushing around everything else, and I'm not worried about things getting hit, because we took care of that last little bit of the tongue, we'll now go in with, well, it depends. Do we want to have her with really gnarly looking teeth, or perhaps more sinister, sharp, pointy, almost white teeth?
I'm going to go for this sinister, sharp, pointy, because
going right then.
I think Iris brushes. That's
Oh,
it. That's all I'm gonna say. I think Iris takes care of her
yeah.
teeth.
Alaric Forest. Interesting. Turns out Jean plays D&D.
Oh, nice.
Really? You're also speaking to
Mm.
the person who has no fear, just cold messaging someone like, yo, guess what?
Well, but that's also your job, and you're very, very
Exactly.
good at it.
Yeah. Um, so we're gonna go in with bone white for the teeth then.
Perfect.
Except my bone white wants to blow bubbles. What are we doing here, darling?
Tiny bubbles. Unicode
In
Pug
the
asks, is
paint.
the soundtrack inside the jukebox ever expanding? I wouldn't say ever. I can't promise forever and ever, but this is the third time that we've added. So volume 3 is 2 weeks, a week and a half. Time is a flat circle.
2.5.
Volume 3 was just added to the in-game jukebox this month. I'll put it that way. And yeah, I don't know when we'll have more. So hopefully we will. But yeah, we like adding to the in-game soundtrack because it's fun to have. And if you do like that soundtrack, absolutely let us know. Because,
Yes, please do.
yeah, those kind of things are, when you add stuff that's more fun quality of life that is not necessarily anything that has to do with gameplay, it's harder to get feedback on that kind of stuff because it's more in the background. So if you do really enjoy all the bardic inspiration songs, let us know on all of the places that you would normally let us know about things.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a detail brush that is not splitting hairs, literally.
I'm laughing, but I know that pain.
Here we go. Let's try you.
And then Kira Kozuz. I currently have 7 time gate pieces and can unlock 2 time gates for the Heroes of Erois champions. I have Sentry Nova, so my options are Quillic, Lucius, and Ayla. Which 2 should I get? All right, definitely get Quillic.
Yeah.
Because Quillic is just such a good support. And then I'm gonna say go for Lucius. Simply because you already have 2 other tanks from the Heroes of Erois. Ayla is an amazing tank, but if at the moment you've got to choose, because you already have a couple of tanks from that set, I would go for Lucius so that you get the DPS. But as soon as you can, also get Ayla because she's real good.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll grab that.
There are lots of teeth.
Yeah, well, and it's also I'm trying to get the back of them where it's at least obvious where you can see them.
Yeah, don't make yourself
Boogats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frustrated
Trying not
over
to.
it.
Yeah. I'm gonna let it go, but there's at least 1 or 2 that are viewable without neck craning. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's definitely
go
some
for those.
angles.
But I'm not gonna be too worried if I miss out on a back part of the tooth because if this ever goes on a playmat, no one is ever going to look there.
No. Keeping your 3-foot rule in mind. Which is where, remember, the mini, if you're going to be using it on your terrain, it's going to be 3 feet away from most of your viewers.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question that is incredibly up your alley, V.
Okay.
Caliph Marin wants to know, would you say Voronika's top 3 or what would you say Voronika's top 3 or 4 colors would be? I am most interested.
Obviously black, dark green, not like a forest green, but like a sickly dark green. And then a deep purple like that, and then very, very blue. Like a sky blue would be her colors. Why that?
I'm just now picturing us painting a Voronika mini, which would be lots of fun. We got to do that tree blight, which was related, but yes.
I have 3 minis that are going to become the 3 phases of Voronika. when I have the chance to sit down and start painting them from Warhog. I can't wait. I can't wait. Tanya was a darling, and she's like, here, take this to get these minis because I like the idea.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah. I just haven't had a chance to jump into it because, apparently this summer was busy.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. And there's still a lot going on. So
yeah, there is.
And that just that falls into there's always minis to paint.
Yeah. And if anything, that might be where I know I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take a day off and I'll sit and paint type of thing.
Yeah.
Ironically, we have Monday off, but I won't have time to because I have to do the responsible adult things like get my car inspected.
Yeah. This is one of those rare times in where we in America have a day off because of a Canadian holiday.
Right.
Just to make life easy for everybody. So
yeah. I'm just I'm getting my car inspected. I'm going to stop at the secondhand shop and see if I can find some fodder for Halloween costumes for the kiddos and things like that.
Halloween is coming up soon too.
It's coming up fast.
Everything is happening.
Yep. And I think it's kind of cool that my oldest is like, yeah, I'll take my youngest around.
Aww.
So I'm like, okay, you two go out and be your independent selves and do your trick-or-treating thing. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm laughing. One wants to be a plague doctor. The other one wants to be Hitman from the video game. Like,
that's
okay,
awesome.
So black suit, red tie, white shirt, and a bald cap. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
At least they're going for bald cap and not like, Ma, I can
shave
just shave
my
my
head.
head.
Oh God. I don't know if I could shave his head. He's got gorgeous hair. But yeah, it's just one of those things I was kind of chuckling about how they were plotting and thinking about what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
now because Halloween is on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
Now, is your area one of those areas that does the official trick-or-treating on a weekend night instead, or do you actually still trick-or-treat?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Personally, I would love it if they would be like, hey, we're going to do it on Sunday, but I don't think they will.
Yeah. Because I have to say, when I was young, many, many moons ago, but when I was young, back in my day, I was always a fan of when Halloween would fall on a weekday, because invariably all of the townships around me would pick different days of the weekend to do trick-or-treating. Right?
Yeah.
And so me and my friends would get together and plot and be like, okay, who's got Friday, who's got Saturday, who's got Sunday? Let's do this.
Yep.
And that was fun, especially when we were old enough to trick-or-treat on our own, but still young enough to enjoy it more than just, hey, we're high schoolers doing the trick-or-treat thing. You get to high school age and somewhere around there it stops being cool. I don't know why. Maybe that's different now. Yeah, free candy and you get to cosplay. Like,
it's just
go for it. Do it. If I could do that as an adult, they should have adult cosplay trick-or-treating.
I would
be
there
needs to be there needs to be hi Kitty. There needs to be a convention. Isn't Gamehole Con usually over Halloween?
I think so.
I think it's Gamehole.
Trying to remember, because Mark Meir was talking about he was going to be somewhere.
I mean, Mark Meir goes everywhere.
Well, I know, but that's also his anniversary, so.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if it's still true. Yeah, and things change, but yeah,
exactly.
I don't know if that's how it still is nowadays, because it's been a while since I've been a child. But I hope that is still the way it works, or at least that now older kids can go and have some fun.
Young lady, can we stop hitting the camera on Mama? Just thank you. Yeah, she just hunkered down for me.
The Mole's Revenge has both a suggestion and a question. Oh, hi, Kitty.
She is.
First, not a question, just wanted to say Bardic Inspiration Volume 3 is already in my Epic and Steam clients, but my Android client, and it got cut off. I'm guessing you're about to say because of the but. My Android client, it is not there. You might want to submit a support ticket for it.
Yeah.
That seems weird. And then also asked time gate number 1, Briv or Black Viper? Briv. Super good.
Like Briv.
Yeah. Time gate number 2, Narak, Quillic, or Sasaspia? I'm gonna say Quillic because of all the Arios things that are going on, and then that saves you a time gate for getting Quillic. See the question we had a little bit earlier. Yeah, I'm gonna say Quillic so that you can be having some more fun in the seasons.
Yep, agreed. All right, I think I have all the tooths. Humpa chompers.
I think I got them all too, but I'm sure I'll find a tooth sometime later. Be like,
you know, it's not always the way it happens.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Oh, heavens to Betsy. Heavens to Betsy. All right, you're cute and adorable, but I need that hand for painting, honey. She's trying to put her head on my hand so she's like, I can rest now. No, you can't.
This hand is mine.
Okay, so what I've been trying to do is plot this so that we're not getting to a point where we have to mix paints and worry about using mixed paints in time before we call it. And I think we're pretty much getting there. I'm going to hold off since we just painted these teeth and it has not been that long. I'm going to hold off on doing the dry brush with dead white. So I think at this point, let's go back to burnt red and start working on getting iris painted. Now we are going to want to thin this out because this is such a nook and cranny texture
burnt
to this
red?
beholder. Burnt red from the Chimera.
Okay.
So you need to grab one of your pot paints. There it is.
It's amazing how much more dark my burnt red looks than yours does on camera.
Could just be the lighting.
It could.
So I'm just going to go in and I am going to thin this out a little bit so it's more the consistency of maple syrup because right now it's definitely ketchupy.
Yeah.
Here's my water dropper.
I may also need to get some more water because we were doing all sorts of stuff with red, and so I had to use the other cup that I normally hold for this specific purpose. I may have to walk away for a second.
Okay.
Because
if you must, you must.
I have no water. All right. I will be right back.
You want clean water. Ba-da-bum. I don't know why I go to that one all the time. Yes, not to be confused with burnt red, the lurking rider. But yeah, the point is I want to try and get this thinned out so that when I go into paint, it'll fall into the recesses more easily. Boy, does that look sinister. But see how with thinning it out, it falls right into the crevices of my wrist. That's how you know you have the right consistency.
Even on your wrist, yours looks so much darker. Let me.
Interesting. Are you looking at the vermilion? Because vermilion's a brighter, almost cherry-ish red.
No, so I've got burnt red.
Okay.
But like what my dark vermilion looks like. Here, you know what? I'm gonna
hold them up
all over my wrist. Here you go. That's mine.
Put your burnt red next to that.
Put my burnt red. Here's. Oh, this is the burnt red.
Okay, no, that's looking comparable then.
All right.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with painting the eye stalks up first with the burnt red. I should switch to a detail brush as I'm doing this. I just kept going with my mixing brush because
That's okay.
Being brave. So I'm going to paint the eye stalks all up first with this burnt red and then start moving down. Let me rinse this out and let me grab. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, someone's getting a Prime delivery. I'm hearing their very distinct backup sound to their trucks.
They have one of those little songs.
No, it goes whack, 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 whack. It's this really weird, grainy. I don't know. It's not one that you would normally think of a truck having for an alert, but
yeah,
it sounds like an angry crow sometimes.
Yeah, and I just saw a lurking writer say colors on screen may appear different in real life.
It's
And
very true. Yeah.
that is 100% true. And usually, I don't know, just that's the first time that to my eyes it looked so different, but maybe
Interesting.
that's just me. And I guess it might also be because I'm thinking of Iris, and Iris is kind of, for me, a bright red, but
Yeah, and we'll get there. This is the base color.
yeah.
Iris is definitely, she's going to get that, actually a couple rounds of some dry brushing action here to really build up from a darker layer to a lighter layer.
But yeah, but I'm really glad I got that water because I would be very unhappy with
Yeah,
that
it's
thicker
much
paint.
better to thin this out at this point. Makes a huge difference, especially with the eye stalks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm literally focusing on the eye stalks first, and then I'll start working down the body, the head, the, the I don't know,
The both.
the both.
Both. Both. Why not both?
Mm-hmm. We'll go with that.
Magnetic asks, suggest time gate for a free weekend. I've Dinar, Penelope, third hero is Barrowin, who I already own. Okay. Penelope.
Yep.
Penelope.
When in
Even though
doubt.
you were very good about saying you've already got 4 heroes in the Dinar slot and 6 heroes in the Penelope slot. Penelope, she
does a
is,
lot of good work.
yeah. And every once in a while is also a hidden DPS.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly really good as a support. So yeah, definitely Penelope. And the fact that you've got 4 in in seat 2 where Dinar is, that's a good amount. Like if you wanted to tackle any of these split the parties or anything like that, you're not gonna be low on champions in that slot.
Exactly.
So now here's the moment in where this tangled mass of eyes that I was so happy to make happen, I'm now less happy with as I have to paint through them all.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I feel you
I
on that
did
one.
this to myself.
And it's okay if you go a little bit up and over into the eyeballs themselves with the red. Again, there's a reason why I wait on the eyeballs until the very end for beholders.
I will admit, I've just been all the eyeballs. The eyeballs are
That's
just
fair.
getting painted.
That's fair. That is
I got
totally fair.
this knot that I made, and now I have to paint my own knot, and
Oh no.
it's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
It's
I
fine.
did this
We're
to
good.
myself.
We're
It's
good.
gonna look cool when it's
It
done.
will. It absolutely will.
I can blame no one but myself.
I did this to me.
M Star, sorry, asks Krond, Shandy, or Yorvin. My
Ooh.
gut says Shandy
Shandy.
because she's super useful and I use her all the time.
So do
She's
I.
as a speed champion, she is real good. But don't forget about Yorvin when you get the chance. Go ahead and pick up Yorvin.
It's a good murder bunny.
Yeah, Yorvin doesn't get enough love. Yorvin is such a fun murder bunny and is just in a hard seat. It's just a hard place. But yeah,
It's a hard
Shandy.
knock life.
Oh, here's a painting question from Flower Sock. I just started painting and I'm having some troubles keeping in the lines, and that's in quotes. Any tips?
Okay, keeping in the lines. If it's a matter of you're getting into detail work, that sounds like you might be needing to shift to a more narrow and actually longer length bristle brush. Here, I'll show you right now. Hold on. Let me finish painting this, and then I'll show you the different styles of detail brushes that I have that might be of help to you if you're running into that issue. So there are detail brushes, which basically mean they are smaller and they come to a nice point, and everything like that. But believe it or not, length of your detail brush can come into play and matter if it's a matter of control and definition. So let me just finish this eye stalk before I put this down. Otherwise, I will forget that I stopped midway on this and find lovely little spots that I completely forgot about.
There'll be a whole side of the eye stalk where you're like, how did I miss
why
this?
did I not do that one?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure I have that well coated, and I will show you.
I know that feel.
Okay, we're looking good on that one. Iris, honey, just let your curls dry a little bit, honey. All right, so trying to grab my examples for you. Okay, here we go. So these are 2 detail brushes. All right, you can see this one is shorter in length than this one, but both are more narrow bristled. The longer length bristles actually will help you have a little bit more control because the brush is flexible. So it's a heck of a lot easier to do line work. It also helps to steeple a pinky against something for pressure for better control of your handwork. But the longer brush allows you more sweeping motions, like so, to get more finite detail happening. Whereas your stubbier brushes, they're good for kind of getting into those little smaller spaces, but every so often, if you try and do more narrow detail work, you'll see there are inconsistencies in the brush stroke. So you may find it helpful to get a detail brush that has a longer bristle to it and help you with edging and detail work.
That's really good to know, because
yeah,
that definitely helps me, because I hadn't thought about brush length before when I was looking, because I am thinking about picking up a new detail brush or 2, because mine have gotten what was the term you used before? They're splitting hairs.
They're splitting hairs,
yeah. I think that is good to know. Maybe I will pick up one that's a longer and one that's a shorter, and
it does help. It really does.
So many elbows on these eyes.
Yeah, then Flower Sock, get the longer bristle, because I just saw your response in chat. That will help you. Because you can see on my wrist how the longer one gives more consistent strokes, whereas the broader one, it starts off broad and then it'll thin out and then it'll thin out.
I'm looking at all the eye stalks, trying to make sure that I got.
Hemi.
Well, you took a moment to stop and explain brushes, so I was able to get ahead.
Hold on. Someone wants to make an appearance, but he is far too big for the space. Come here, you. No, honey. No.
The Tarrasque-sized cat is showing up.
Say hi.
Hi, kitty.
All right, my big boy. Hemi.
Yay.
One of my main coons.
I love that the chat immediately fills with floof.
He is the floof. No, Sir Floofinator.
Sir Floofinator. Sorry, I just heard that out. Like I was about to read off this question, and I heard no, Sir Floofinator, and it just stuck in my head in a fun way.
Because he wants to try and get up here. You can hang out down there for a little bit, buddy. Okay.
Well, we missed him last week. You know?
I know. I miss him too. It's just I really have no space up here, and I'm worried he's going to sit on the keyboard and something happens.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, also, we've had a handoff. Trevor is now our moderator / producer / awesome person in the background. So if you do have any questions for us, especially since we're in the last 30-ish minutes of the show, make sure you put those in chat with question in big capital letters so that Trevor can ask it. And that includes if you are looking for suggestions for your time gate. Meanwhile, Key Theory asks, wouldn't it make more sense to use the discounted time gates for the Aerois rollers? There we go. No, I want to get it right. Aerois champions, and use the free one for other champions in case you have the time to do more in a row. I think it depends on how many time gate pieces you have and who else is offered to you in a time gate. Like, let's see, there was the one before where I said go for Quillic. Let's see if I can find where that was, because I've given a lot of suggestions.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. So it was Narak, Quillic, and Sasaspia. And so not knowing how many other time gate pieces this person had, Anything else except those three, I had said Quillic because, hey, you've got them for free right there. Go for it. And then that's one less of the Aroas champions that you have to use a time gate for. I think you are correct that depending on what people have already, you might want to use the free time gate, or you might want to use the paid time gates because of the discount that's going on. It's kind of up to you and what you want to do. And then Sharky151 may be related. I got inspired. Ooh, that's always a good way to start. Watching you a while back. So I started to paint a mini for a World War II game. Wasn't sure if it was primed, so I bought primer for it, black, and discovered it to be tacky now, not painted yet, just primed. Did I make an oopsie?
Can you tell me what brand paint you got and what brand miniature it is? That I can guide you a little bit better on that one.
Ooh, all right,
is never fun.
Sharky, if you are Sharky151, if you are still in chat, I'm gonna come over to the chat and I'm gonna keep an extra eye out for your answer. Sorry, now I'm just looking
that's totally cool.
They say not really was a U-boat game.
U-boat game. And what was the brand of the paint is the next question.
A U-boat board game. Ooh, interesting. We're all just paused and bated breath.
Yeah, I know. It's like waiting.
We're all here to help you, Sharky. We're here for you. We got your back.
Okay.
All right. Well, while they're searching,
while he's waiting,
I'll answer a really quick question. Rough Rider 91 wants to know if I will have Be Never Ending this week. Yes, we have. I've lost what episode it is. I will remember what episode it is because I also saw that Sharky151 said, sorry, no idea, commercially available, one for modeling. And hey, that's okay. Like you were picking up stuff and you were having fun. And if you don't remember, that is, I mean, I've been doing this now for 42 weeks on a regular basis. I forget what I'm using. So no worries.
So here's what I think may have happened. Did you wash your mini first? If you did not wash the mini first, there is a release agent on these miniatures to help them pop out of the mold. Here we go. What's happened is your release agent that is on your miniature has reacted with your primer, and that is going to stay tacky. That is not something that is going to dry with time because the freaking release agents are there to be kind of slimy to help the mini pop out of the mold. So anytime you go and put paint freshly on a miniature that has not been washed off, et cetera, you run into those issues big time, especially with cheaper plastic miniatures from mass-produced lines on things that are like board games. So what you're probably going to need to do is strip the mini again and start fresh because no matter what you do, that paint, every layer is going to continue to remain tacky to the touch and may even start pilling up on you. So if you want to strip it, you could just go in. Chances are rubbing alcohol 90% would do the trick to pull that up.
Well,
and the nice thing is the rubbing alcohol will also help strip any residual gunk that's left on it. And then what I would do is for that particular mini, if you want to give it a go again, get the Vallejo drop style paint, not the spray style paint. And that should hopefully give you a more consistent base cover that dries completely. In fact, if you look, I use the Vallejo primer paint style, not the spray style, and this has a very chalky, dry finish, so the paints are absorbing nicely into it. Yep, the one that Lauren's holding up. That is a tried and true and trusted for many.
Yeah.
Many.
And this is the big giant bottle I ended up
and that's
getting.
Like and $9, and that's going to last years.
Yeah, you can definitely get the smaller one that V had when we were doing the priming. That was what, like 2, 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to get the big one. I don't
Mm-mm.
know why I got the big one. I think I was just ordering a bunch of the stuff for the
I
for the
think it was
iris
what
and
was
this
available was the problem.
maybe, or it was the one that came up and I went, well, primer. You have to prime an
Yeah.
entire mini, so it makes sense it would be a larger bottle.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Although if you're going to be doing other minis, then yeah, it's good just to have a big bottle of it.
Yeah.
But that's going to be my guess. You had a release agent reaction.
Sorry you had that
Yeah.
experience. We're very happy that you were inspired by us though, and
Absolutely.
it sounds like fortunately rubbing alcohol
Mm-hmm.
is
It
going to be
should
your
strip
friend
it. Yeah.
and will be a relatively easy fix.
Yeah. And jump
At
back in
least
if you have any
smelling,
other
but
questions with it.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
it's basically when they do those board game minis, they don't anticipate people to be painting these. What they want to do is have it so they get these things out and into the box as fast as possible. So sometimes I believe they've used more of that agent just to really be sure it's just out.
yeah. Oh.
So yeah. Whoop. Whoopa.
Martin is back.
Hi.
We had
Wow.
another changing of the guard. Martin is back. Trevor's probably still hanging out too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because Trevor's awesome. But thank you, Martin. Welcome back.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
And I did look it up for Rough Rider 91 was asking about Be Never Ending this week. Yes. So tonight is episode 7 of our series. And I'm DMing a show on the Be Never Ending Twitch channel that is it's Journeys to the Radiant Citadel. And we're doing a couple of the adventures from the book. And then we're also there's a big overarching story, which is homebrew. And then we've slotted in a couple of the adventures from the book. And we have people who worked on the book who are playing in the game. And so tonight is episode 7. And I believe Johnny Stanton is back for his 2-episode run with his Mark of the Beast character, who you'll just have to watch episode 6 to find out why his name is Mark of the Beast. It's amazing. And then we'll have Jen Kretschmer as her cottagecore bard, who is amazing, and KP as BB, the kobold, who is the kobold sorcerer who likes fire and accidentally set his own house on fire and is adorable. It's a slightly smaller cast this week because a whole bunch of schedules just got which happens.
It does, yeah.
We'll have Kelly the Opera Geek back next week, and we will also have Aaron Roberts joining us, who is the author of the adventure that we not just finished, but we did 3 episodes of recently. She'll be joining us for a couple of episodes. So Written in Blood was one of the first adventures we played that was in between all of the big adventure they're going on. And then we're going to be going into, and this is not really a spoiler since it's part of the show experience, but we're going to be going into The Fiend of Hollow Mine, which was written by Awarius, Mario Otegon, who joined us for Written in Blood. See how it works? It's great.
Yep.
We've been having fun. Thank you for asking. Thank you for letting me go on about this show, because I think Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is such an awesome book.
It really has been a great compilation.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. I highly, highly recommend it. I got it right there. You can't see it because it's dark behind me.
But it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
And then Nukem asks, is it worth putting gems into clickers or getting chests? For familiars. It's always good to get familiars.
Yeah.
Whether you want to spend any of your gems on chests or not at the time, because some of the familiars can take a little while to save up enough gems for. So if you end up spending some to get some chests, it's not a bad thing. Yeah. But familiars are really, really useful and very, very helpful. And so if you've got the gems for some of those, absolutely, I suggest getting some. I also suggest if you get far enough that you can start unlocking patrons, to go ahead and unlock those, because the patrons also have ways of getting familiars. So yeah, familiars, clickers, as you say, but we call them familiars because they're adorable. Absolutely. Super, super, super useful. TTRP Gifts is in chat. It is asking about a very specific creature that I'm not going to say out loud, because that tiny spoiler, like if you don't know what the name is, it's not a huge spoiler. You're just going to have to watch and find out.
Oh boy. Yeah,
like I said, we've been slightly more open about some of that because that's half the fun of this 12 episode series is, hey, we're going to be playing these adventures with these players who wrote the other adventures. And we've also had players who, like we had Bashir Goose on, who did, who worked on a bunch of the setting. We've just been very lucky to have a bunch of players who worked on this book. So but as far as what's actually going to happen in these adventures and what's going on the Radiant Citadel and everything that's happening tonight, you're just going to have to watch and find out.
Tune in for more.
I did end on a
Cliffy?
I'm not usually, yeah, it was a good cliffhanger. I'm not usually one of those that is super happy about that, but I am super happy about it. All just happened to come together so that I could end on the, hey, you've returned to the Radiant Citadel and all's fine except for that explosion over there. We'll see you next time.
Oh dear. And then bye-bye.
And then bye. You're gonna have to come back next week and see what happens. Sorry, I'm still looking through iStocks.
No, it's totally fair. I'm doing the same thing. I think I have one left.
Yeah, I've reached that point in where sometimes I can't tell if I've just missed a spot or if it's shiny and drying.
Well, luckily this is a straight up color, so if next week you realize there are some points that you missed, based upon the time, we're probably going to still be working with this color next week, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. And then since I am done, quote unquote, with the iStocks, at this point, do we continue on to...
Yeah, keep going on to the top of the head, and keep in mind you'll need a place that you can hold it securely as you work your way down, and then what you can do is next week, that's you'll paint the other area that you were holding while painting the rest of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna, might as well continue with the top of the head. I've been letting my fingers get all poked by the lower jaw, so I'll just keep getting poked by the lower jaw. Why you gotta be so spiky, Iris?
Well, you know, she can be prickly.
She gets upset when she can't finish that one area.
Yes. Blast.
Can I be really proud about something for a second?
Yes, of course.
So that trailer, I had a tiny little contribution to that trailer. The video of the actual gameplay when it comes around and you see that she's playing Idle Champions. I recorded that.
You pulled that. Yay!
Yeah. Tiny, like as far as you know, all the rendering and all of the voice acting and all of the awesome creation of Iris in the background and all the other stuff. Super, super cool. That was my tiny little contribution.
But that's a good contribution. I may have just painted one of the bone plates. Oops, I can go back after that. No big deal.
Oh, we're trying to avoid the bone plates?
I tend to, but you know, if you didn't, that's okay as well.
I didn't, but I will continue forward now.
Yeah, it's not something worth losing sleep over. Let's put it that way.
All right. Is there anything in mini painting that's worth losing sleep over?
Eyeballs.
I mean, if you're just doing for fun.
Eyeballs.
Eyeballs.
Yeah, that's where you can get into the point of back and forth, no return. Depending. Especially like the smaller PC style ones. Oh, I just did it again. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna paint it all.
Yeah, I mean, you get into that mood of like, oh, now I just get to paint the whole thing. Oh, wait, whoops. Oh, wait, whoops.
That was a bone plate. I mean, luckily the bone plates were going to go in with the stonewall gray, so that's very good at muting out other colors, even as a light color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too worked up about it.
Need to get a smaller brush to be around that eye without getting into the eye.
That is very fair.
Lesh68 asks, rewind. How do you get familiars from patrons? So once you've unlocked patrons, when you are doing patron challenges, you will earn patron currency. And each of the 4 have their own different currencies. I do a whole show on Mondays that unfortunately there won't be a show this week because of the holiday, but do a whole show on Mondays about weekly patronage. So once you start doing some of those challenges, which basically means you're going to turn the patron on, and then you're going to complete free plays and adventure variants with the patron on to earn patron currency. And the patron will have their own specifications, like Mert will only let you use good and evil champions, no neutral. When you do that, you will earn patron currency, and that you can use to buy a whole bunch of stuff from your patron. And that includes a familiar that each of them are available for. Plus a whole bunch of other really good things. There's potions, there's chests that you can get that are good for any of the champions that you can use for that patron. There's Modron component chests, which is super nice. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just by completing patron stuff, you will be able to then get stuff from them. That's kind of the complete their challenges, get their rewards. I'm trying to remember. I know there's a flame skull for one of them. I'm forgetting offhand what the 4 familiars actually are. But you can find them. You can find them in the whole big list. You should be able to see them.
Yes.
All right. And yeah, we've only got a couple minutes left. So if anybody has any last minute questions. Oh, thank you, Crazy Bry Guy. Mert is a gargoyle. That's correct. Yeah, it's been a while since I've bought those, so I've just totally forgotten. But yeah, if you have any other questions, we've got a few minutes left, and I just put my finger in a bunch of red paint. So go ahead, and ask your question in chat with question in big capital letters, so Martin can grab that and I can wash off my fingers because that's a lot of red paint.
Oh no.
It's okay. It'll wash out.
It does. I hope. Thankfully, it does.
Yeah. It'll definitely wash out easier than the super glue from last week.
Oh boy, yeah, that you need acetone involved.
That was a lot of just standing in the bathroom and scrubbing. That took a while.
She's standing up on her back legs and pushing her front paws on my lower back like, Mom!
She's trying to give you a massage.
She's trying to get my... You want to hop up, say hi? You gotta sit your butt down, though.
Of course they want to hop up and say hi. No, you gotta
sit your butt down. You're small enough, but let's not get into the paints, darling.
Nope.
Okay.
But Mom, I love you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
She and Cotton were not making it easy for me to get up and get ready for work this morning. They both just plunked down on my lap and fell asleep and were purring.
Yeah. Mobile76 asks, I'm curious if V's fur baby has helped her paint.
Well, she likes to re-angle the camera, so it's more on her. I don't know if you just saw that nose boob.
Define
help. Exactly. Help is a interesting choice of words. Do you help or do you hinder, girly? Oh, we want to check in with Helen. Okay, sorry, I just saw that. Hello!
Hi!
She's doing well. Oh, you love her too, don't you? Yes. Helen's been so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How did I get this much red on me? At least, I don't think I got it on my shirt.
You didn't wipe your hand on anything, did you?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh dear.
I think it's just because I have watered down plus the paint
Thank
so
you.
much that maybe
Yeah,
maybe just
possibly.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But I
possible.
don't see any on my shirt, so I'm happy.
That's good. If it kind of got on your shirt, then that's, go back to the rubbing alcohol trick again.
Yeah.
And I'll get that out for you. You get it while it's fresh, that is.
Yeah. I definitely would want to do that with this shirt because I like this shirt.
Yeah, and then if you want to save the shirt, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belswin asks, what is your favorite thing you've worked on for Idle Champions? I mean, the easy answer is Orkira. I mean, I made Orkira years ago for streaming and for playing D&D, but then working with the Idle Champions crew to bring her to the game was amazing. But that's kind of, I feel like that's not the answer you're looking for because, I'm just going to say Orkira all the time. What's my favorite thing I worked on? God, that's hard. V, what's the favorite thing you've worked on at Idle Champions?
I enjoy honestly working with content creators and walking them through their own champion creations. That's a process I enjoy. For sure. The Idle Champions, the Idle Champions presents. They're fun to see the reactions, but that's a lot of behind the scenes work.
I would say Court of the Raven Queen, though, but for me, because I got a chance to play on that. So I had a lot less work and a lot more just to show up and play. Yeah, I mean, if you count that, then I'd probably say Court of the Raven Queen because that was super fun.
Yeah.
It was great to play with those other players, and B-Dave is an amazing DM. And there's zero doubt about that. But if anyone had any doubts, Court of the Raven Queen, I told him this afterwards. I've been playing Orkira for 3.5 years, for a very long time, over multiple shows. And I know that there's always more that I can dive into with that character, but it can be hard it can be easy to be like, well, you've been playing this character for 3 years. There's nothing more to dive into, to talk about, to, explore. And especially in a show like that, and where there's a lot of plot going on, and our focus was on Farida and Shaka and things like that. B-Dave brought up something about Orkira that has been a truth about her since the beginning of her that has never come up before in the game. For in-game reasons. Like it was the perfect moment. And I got to tell him afterwards, I'm like, you nailed something that has never come up with her before. So that was super cool.
Yeah.
As far as super directly related to Idle Champions, there is something getting released next week that, if it's received well, will become one of my favorite things that I've put together. And V knows what I'm talking about. That's all I will say, because I won't spoil it, but there's something I worked on that is getting released next week that I put a lot of extra work into.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I think I'm going to call it, because I'm starting to run out of holding space. So we've made some really good progress with Iris.
Yeah.
Her mouth is essentially done outside of doing some highlight work on the teeth. Okay. And then it's going to be a matter of finishing up the red on that under eyelid area, taking the red down the rest of the body, which is good because this will have a chance to dry, and then I can flip it out upside down and paint the rest of it. Then we'll get into doing the bone plate work as well as doing base work, because remember, she comes on a base. So we'll do some painting of the base as well. And then also painting of the little gazer.
A tiny little
gazer. We have the time to work that in. I would absolutely love to. But I'm definitely hitting a point where I need to stop, because I'm going to not be able to hold on to her securely. And red paint and a rolling mini, Not fun. Doesn't work out well.
No, and we got plenty of time next week.
Absolutely. We really do. So tune in next week for episode 4 of Iris. So we're going to take this Iris and hopefully get it to start looking more like this Iris. And if you haven't seen it yet, go and check out the Iris. I always keep saying Irish. Iris trailer on our YouTube channel, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and give it a watch. If you hear a familiar voice, that's because Hope Lavelle has done the voice of Iris for us. Thank you so much again, Hope. Amazing work as always.
Yes.
So yeah, do give that a watch. And then, as we've said, we are going to be off on Monday because, you know, Day of Respect for the Queen, working for a Canadian company. That's a thing. But our cast of A Familiar Quest, they will be joining us again for episode 5 on Monday. So do be sure to join in and see what our adorable familiars get up to this week. I can't wait to see. And then what else do we have floating around here? Oh yeah, just a heads up. Don't forget Scotty the Rescue Pup. This little cutie pie is launching next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. So the first week of Scotty sales, the net proceeds are going to be donated to Take This, a fantastic organization. So mark your calendars, get yourself ready, and get this little cutie in your lineup, because trust me, you're going to want to. Oh my God, just for the little animation action alone, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You got
Kelly's already talked about it a little bit about the yeah.
It's so stinking cute. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah. And if you want kind of a sneak peek of Scotty, watch A Familiar Quest on Monday, because not only will the real life the real life inspiration for Scotty probably show up on camera because Scotty's always around.
Scotty's always around.
Kelly is playing Scotty the Rescue Pup in A Familiar Quest.
And it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's an absolute riot. So I think those are our big major points. And again, we've been talking about that Time Gate weekend. Take advantage of it, folks. Don't miss out on that. And until next week, I think we're going to call it. So have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye.